Welcome back to Alien RestoMod. We're going to go ahead and continue on with the wiring harness. You've seen this wiring harness before. This is the dash wiring harness. Then we have the intermediate wiring harness, which connects the dash to the rear wiring harness, which is just the lights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this wiring harness, make sure everything's good to go, and then I'm going to clean up these. I don't have a front wiring harness for the headlights. All I have is the fog light mounting brackets or bezels, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to work on. Just to give you an update on the loom, how it went. I think it went pretty good. I'm not 100% done, of course, but I'm going to tape all that up so you can't see anything. This is going to get all loomed up later on down the road. Same with this. But for right now, it's looking pretty good, though. And here's under the dash. Under the dash is still, you know, a work in progress, but I have made some room, I'll just say. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to refer to the diagram and the other diagrams I made for the firewall harness, and we'll get going on that. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is this is the wiring harness for the wiper motor. And again, I got this off a 65, 66 Buick at the pull apart. Anyways, GM used the same stuff for like 10, 15 years because this is the same wires that are on a 69 Camaro, and it just hooks up right to my wiper motor, which I have not tested yet, but I will. But to figure out where these go on this firewall diagram, I know these are the connections right here and here, but I didn't know which wire went to what. So all you do is go to this diagram. This is actually the Camaro wiring diagram for the chassis. Anyways, you just look at the wires coming off the wiper motor, and you got black, light blue, yellow, and dark blue. That's the exact same colors I have. So, and that's how I figured it out. And then the letters right here are actually inside, as you can see right there, inside the firewall fuse box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these and put a connector on the end so they can plug in just like this. Be right back. All right, the wiring harness for the wiper motor is pretty much done. Here's the connector. You see they're new because I have a whole bag of brand new ones, which you have to order online, by the way. You can't get them from your local auto parts store. I got them on Amazon. But anyways, connector. The old ones were really dirty. If you ever test the ohms, the continuity between the wires, you get the little red light continuity. That means there's no break in the wire, basically. But I was having a problem from this wire, which is a junction, which I screwed up. I had to put a green on there, by the way. It was yellow. I wasn't getting the continuity, so I went ahead and switched out the wire and the connector, and now I have it. All right, another update. I know it doesn't look like did much to the dash harness, but it's true. I haven't done much to it. I decided not to like wrap it up or everything because I'm going to still need to move things around, and I want to remain loose and not waste a bunch of tape. But anyways, what I wanted to show you is just identify the parts of the harness in case you don't know. For the firewall part, if you look on the inside, you can see it has letters Yankee, X-ray, Whiskey, Victor, Uniform across the side, and then across the top you got Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. So you have that intersection so you can figure out which wire and all that. Now this does not have that. You just have to trace it up here. And I went online, I found somebody that identified all this stuff I went off that, plus I went on the diagram right here, and it matched up, so I know it was true. But starting from the fuse box, whatever, this connector is your dimmer switch. The one on the floor connects right in there. For some reason, I got two. I don't know why. I picked it up somewhere. But this is your dimmer switch, and that's what it looks like. And going down to the other side, this connector connects your intermediate harness to the rear harness. So that's what that is, and we'll get into that later. Moving on down, this right here is your wiper switch on your dash. So this, your wiper switch, just plug that in on the back. That's a ground. Going to the other side, this is a light switch. Basically, this is your lights. You know, you just pull it on, and you pull it out further for your brights, and it plugs right in there. It's hard to do with one hand. Going down, this is instrument panel lights. I'm not going to use them. This would light up if you're, low on gas. It would just light up and it would say fuel. Or if your temperature's high, just the temperature reading would just come on, and it wouldn't tell you how much. It would just say you're, overheating. Again, I already went over that ground. And moving on down, this is your fuel gauge connector. Just click it on whatever fuel gauge you have. Hopefully the modern electrical ones, they have an old connector, so this thing will just marry up to it and have no problem. Here's another light. Another light. Going on down. Here's the most important thing, I think. This connects to the connector that's on your steering column. Remember, my steering column came from a 70 Nova, but it's the same GM steering column they've been using for 20 years at that point. So there's two, but they sit like that and they connect on there. The connector on the steering column is fixed to it, so you can't move it. Here's another dash light. This right here, this connector actually is for your steering column. Your steering column harness has a connector that hangs down from it. I rebuilt the steering column. If you go back through my videos, you can find it. Here's the connection that this connects into that harness part. And all it does is this controls all your turn signal and all that. So that's what that is. All right, right next to it is the stop lamp switch. I guess the connector looks like that. I don't know what it looks like. This is a backup lamp switch. This connects to your neutral safety switch. So once you put it in reverse, the backup lights come on. I don't think I'll be using it, but we'll see what happens. Going down, and this was your clutch, and it goes to the neutral safety switch. Remember, I had to do a loop on here because I went from this wiring harness is a manual harness to automatic, so all this does is just keep the clutch in. Otherwise, it wouldn't. The vehicle wouldn't start. It wouldn't start the starter because they didn't want you to start it in gear or something like that. This is a dimmer signal flashers for your flashers. You have a heater switch, which is connected to heater resistor. Not going to use them. Going to use aftermarket. Another light. Then I found out what these two wires were. One's a cigarette lighter and the other one's a compartment lamp. Probably won't use them, so I'm not worried about it. I'll just have to close them off or something because they're hot. Here's the radio connector. I'm not sure how that's going to work because modern radio is going to need more than just this. And that lamp already went over. But that's about it on the dash harness. Here's the intermediate connector. Everything went fine. There was nothing really bad about this. I just removed everything. As you can see, it's just a long wire, group of wires, all the way down to the rear connector for the lights, tail lights. But starting up here, this connects to the dash harness. And you go down, and you have the left-hand dimmer switch and the right-hand dimmer switch. So that's the for the doors. And then it just goes further down. No breaks in the wire. The wires actually look really well. And it goes down, and then you have the dome light connection. And I started wrapping this with cloth tape, and it's looks pretty good. Connectors, the little tabs, focus, and hooked it up to the rear lights, and it connects right in. No problem. I will put electricity to it and check out the lights before I install it. All right, here's the taillight harness, and here's the connection that goes to the intermediate. I have to replace all those probably to make sure there is good contact. You go down, you can see that somebody's already spliced into this, so we might have some issues as we go along. I'm just going to unwrap everything and check it out. Got 3 lights over here. That's the driver's side, and then over here you got the gas light and your license plate light, I guess, lights, and then a ground. Going further down, this one's broke off. Here it is. This one is already been repaired once. These have been repaired as well, and you got a panel marker light. So it's really not much to it, but I'm going to remove everything and clean it up and see what it looks like. And then when I get the tape in, I'll rewrap it as well. But I got to fix this one. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll let you know. A quick update. All the light connectors work now. Everything gets power. There's just 2 connections in here that the intermediate harness sends back and gives power to everything. I just was only hooking up to one at a time, and it was only lighting up half the lights. But anyways, when I get the tape in, I'll loom it all up, and it'll look just awesome. This is pretty much done. I can't do any more to it. I don't want to do any more to it. So I'm going to move on. This is what I moved on to. Like I said, I went to the junkyard, pull apart, and I got this out of a 74 LeSabre. Well, this is not going to fit exact, and I won't be able to use it like plug and play. So what I'm going to do is this diagram, and it shows you how it's set up and everything. I'm going to set it up just like this and connect it to the firewall fuse block. And I'll connect it to headlights, parking lights, horn relay, parking switch, turn, left, right, and more parking lights. And go ahead and go with that. Set it up that way. That's what I planned. So I'm going to go ahead and strip this down. It's no big deal. It's just loom. And set up bare bones that I'm going to use to match this. Hey, the headlight harness is pretty much done. I went ahead and installed it because it wasn't that hard at all. And I followed everything that was on here, how it's hooked up here, here, and here. And all these wires from that, what I say is 66 Buick or whatever, pretty much the same. Got green, dark green, tan, brown, light blue. I just hooked up basically to the same, I mean, these are the connectors, so it's just hook it into the headlight. These are actually turn signals, not fog lights, but turn signals. Those are a little different, but you know, I just found the right wires, just hooked it up, crimped it, and then made it happen. That's pretty much the headlights harness. But as you see, I got a lot of splicing and heat shrink. I just threw it all in the loom all the way up, and it goes straight in, and I hooked it right up. Everything hooked up, slid right in, because I put new connectors inside here, and these are all the new connectors, so it's gonna have a good contact. All right, real quick before we start looking at the taillights, well, actually the lights. Here's the taillight harness. I went ahead and put the tape on there. I mean, it's all protected. It's good to go. And both sides, I was at the junkyard and I saw these better sockets, so I got these instead of that fix I did because it was still touch and go. I decided to use these. They work out great, so I'm happy with that. And I got a couple from O'Reilly's. But anyways, so here's the taillights, and it's connected right there to the intermediate. And it's going to come through here, and right there it stops over and goes to the dome light. And so the wire keeps going down. And I know I don't have it in place correctly, but I will. For convenience, I put all the headlights and the turn signal lights up here. Let's go ahead and turn everything on and see what we got. All right. Tell you what, those lights are giving me a run for my money. One of the issues with the headlights, and I saw on the internet, and I was like, wow, it's that simple. Because I thought I didn't have a something grounded, and I've been checking things for like weeks. But the thing is, these lights draw so much energy. If you don't have a full charge on your battery, your blinkers aren't going to work. They draw so much when you have the lights on. And I've been using this battery left and right and leaving it on, plugged in and turned on for like 10, 20 minutes while I'm trying to, hunt down some hot leads. But it was just draining it. I finally got it charged and the lights work, as you saw, which is awesome, great, and moving on. Another thing, what we saw is I was able to all the lights work with lights on, dash lights work, brake lights, and rear lights, and the dome light. So that is great. One thing to note, this unit right here, this is all brand new. I thought there was something wrong with my old one, but it wasn't that. It was a ground. That's all it was. The old one probably works. I haven't tested it, but now I got two. Well, I'm going to keep this one because it's in there, it works, and you saw that. The biggest thing for that was the ground on the switch itself. You just need to have it grounded and it'll work. Same thing with the headlight switch. I grounded it right there and everything started working. So that's just the way it is, You learn. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you learned something, great. If you didn't, watch it again. All right, see you guys later.